Select Board Water Commissioner meeting for June 12th, 2023. Under new business, we have Dustin Macy, need a road name for a subdivision on Rice Hill. Nancy West from Planning Commission, talked about town land on Sweet Hollow. Dan McDonald, email questions about stop signs and police coverage. We need to sign fleet permit, sign warrants, approve some meeting minutes. Through here. Anything else we need to add?
Do you want to talk about your meeting with 105?
Sure. We have an email from you. That's what we want to discuss that. Sheriff's Department as well.
Okay. All right. Start at the top. Dustin?
The road name, I was thinking Jalen for the road on Rice Hill.
Okay.
To come, say what it is, and you guys approve it. But Jalen is the name. I guess it has to be changed after 3 houses into a public or private road. So.
Okay. So that's your intention, is to keep it a private road?
Whatever the town regulations, it's I guess that's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's for 911, to make the road.
911?
Yes.
Okay.
How would you spell it, Dustin?
Jaylynnn.
Road? Lane?
Right? Just whatever it's supposed to be, I guess.
Well, what would you like it to be?
Oh, I didn't know I had that call, I thought.
Lane or drive,
Yeah.
I guess I didn't think about that, whatever works.
Choice is yours.
Sheldon Lane?
Sure.
that sounds good.
That sounds good.
I'll get it ordered up. Takes a few weeks.
With that put in at 911 and the house on the top of
Just
this.
says to be.
Okay, do we have to
Approve it.
approve that? Okay. So I guess I need a motion to approve the road name.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Alright.
Jalen Lynn.
A second on that. Alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, I guess that'll be the name.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Anything else?
Have a great night. A big jackhammer. You got one of that? Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, Nancy's not here, are you
I'll save
here?
it for Nancy.
Okay.
So, I believe the point of the planning commission coming was to just touch base about the town forest. I know that I was here last August to present the planning commission's recommendation to leave the forest as is, have potentially some type of legal language drafted up to make it stay as is, not to be sold or used. I know that hasn't moved forward, so I think Nancy just wanted to touch base on that. We had received a few questions at our last May, like this past May meeting for the planning commission. So I'm putting together just a timeline to send out to some interested parties. So I think Nancy just wanted to touch base and
Yeah.
some of my questions.
Yeah, I don't know if we
I think you did in some minutes.
determined we didn't need any
I think you did.
things written up.
I don't remember exactly how we worded it, but we were basically not doing anything.
Yeah.
I think we were approaching interest and they said they weren't really, because we already owned it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Land Trust, there were some more stipulations that we needed to do that I think we didn't want to do, if I remember.
Theirs was more restrictions
Yeah,
that we
we
weren't in
did,
favor of.
we weren't in favor of, so I think we're just gonna let it kind of be ours and let it be as is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what Nancy was trying to get across, she wanted something written up that we wouldn't sell it or couldn't sell it, but I don't know if we have the right to do that or not. It's town-owned land, and then I think we just leave it.
I think that's where we left the conversation last August. I reviewed the minutes, me and Kim pulled them last week, or no, 2 weeks ago.
I think-
Put it on the agenda.
I was gonna say, I think we discussed just making sure that if it was to be sold, it was to put to a vote of the town members. And it was never something that a 5-person board could say, we're gonna sell that land without, it would have to be on, like, town meeting day, things will be decided.
I don't know if we made any sort of official motion on that, we discussed it, but maybe we did.
We just, this was here in the August 8th of 2022 meeting minutes. Board discussed the planning commission's recommendation to leave the town-owned property on Sweet Hollow Road as is. The board will ask the town attorney for options for a legal agreement to be written for the property to not be sold or used for recreational purposes only. I guess maybe we drop the ball on that.
I think that the way it is right now, it cannot be sold unless it goes to a public meeting.
Okay.
I think that's what we had figured we went through it.
Because the board just can't sell it, it has to be a public decision.
So we don't have to make any change, right, because we already wanted to change anything.
Right. Yeah. Safe the way it is. Anything else for us?
Not for me, the planning commission's still working on a few grants, bylaw modernization. Starting to work on getting some community involvement for the town plan. I'm working on a draft letter and a list of community outreach places to send it. Yeah, that's kind of where the planning commission's at. Zoning's going good, no issues.
Busy in the spring was only?
Getting there, getting there. Just keep busy. Anything to it? And I guess, I know we were talking about the S100. Is that something the board would like some more clarification on? I'm sure I can get someone from emergency staff to kind of give a little bit more of a comprehensive representation of what exactly that entails.
In your judgment of it, you think it's gonna impact us greatly? Because we don't have, we do and we don't at the same time of what they're asking of, you know.
Well, from my understanding, a lot of the things that S100, the preamble, we're going to put in place are areas that we were already looking at altering for the village districts through the bylaw modernization grant that we're a part of. So I think, as I stated, it's gonna kind of go hand in hand with that. You know, I don't know what the timeline for the state implementation of those are. I assume that, I know that it goes into effect sooner, but for how long the towns have to actually adopt it. I'm not sure of that timeline. So I think.
As far as the zoning on duplexes, what do you do with duplexes?
In that section, no, not that many.
Yeah, because the area that it'll affect is Sheldon Spring in that village area, so.
Yeah, so they're not affecting a lot. That are duplexes.
Pushing new glasses.
I don't think right now we do, but that's just my opinion, so. Rick, Nick?
No, I'm good. For now.
Have a good night.
You too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you go. Camera guy on? Alright, so we had exit executive session, we talked to our highway employees about the year-end stuff and things coming up. No decisions were made on anything. We'll get back at the meeting here, we're gonna sign some permits and warrants and permits to do. One of the, we've got an email here from we have an email here from the Franklin County Sheriff's Department. It says, greetings, as we have levelized our staffing across various towns for which we provide services, we will be able to start patrolling Sheldon again. I wanted to confirm that the budget is available for us to start up again. Please confirm and we will get started getting things scheduled. I'm not sure exactly how many hours we'll be able to commit to per week, but I'll have a better idea as summer progresses. What's your thoughts on this? We want to get Sheriff's Department back in here.
I would like to meet with them in person.
Okay.
We also have an inquiry in with Swan Village that they will bring to the Board of Trustees.
Okay.
After they're finding out they have a traffic agreement with Enosburg and seeing if they would be willing to enter something similar with us, so we're kind of waiting on that as well.
Okay. Are those looking like they're gonna happen right off, or is that something that
I will contact
is gonna be like next year, or?
I mean, I'll follow up with Swan this
Okay.
week before next meeting.
Yep, let's do that, and maybe we could meet with the sheriff in person and see what his thoughts are,
And I'd like to have something a little more concrete from them, because that's a little wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Some hard numbers and what services he can provide and what hours and things like that. If he's
Okay.
using up hold his contract.
well, let's do that, then Nick, we can follow up on your end of it there, and we can, get an invite out to the Franklin County Sheriff, and have him come in and talk with us, get a better idea of what his plans are, and what's going on. We'll go from there. I'll read the meeting minutes from the previous meeting, Select Board Water Commissioner meeting from May 22nd of 2023. Present was Seth Hungerford, David Bludek, Richard Piazzi, Stephen Dodd, Nick Norris, Kim Dufresne, Hubert Spalding, Robert Clark from Otter Creek Engineering, and Jessica Burke. Opened the meeting at 6:30. Robert Clark, Otter Creek Engineering, reviewed and discussed plans to upgrade the water line on Crow Hill. Town will need to upgrade existing water line to a 4-inch before additional hookups can be added to the water system to ensure adequate water pressure. Signed fleet permits and warrants 2319 and 2320. I read the May 8th meeting minutes. Seth motion to accept is read, seconded by David, and all in favor. We signed the NRPC letter of intent for the 2023 federal aid bicycle and pedestrian grant program. Board reviewed mowing bids from Paul Roy, Dufresne's Gas, Dale Hunt, and Papa's Lawn Care. David recused himself from the vote. Seth motion to award Dufresne's Gas the bid, seconded by Rick, and motion passed, all in favor. Board reviewed paving quotes from Whitcomb to Pike. Nick motion to award Pike paving contract, seconded by Seth, and motion carried. Board reviewed quotes from Homestead's paving to pave basketball court, tennis court, Sheldon Springs rec field, and the Shawville Road rail trail crossing, and the fire department driveway. Seth motion to award Homestead paving contract for the basketball court, Shawville rail trail crossing, seconded by Nick, and motion carried. 9 o'clock, motion to go into executive session, seconded by Nick. At 10 o'clock, we exited executive session, board asked town clerk to get an interest rate from People's Trust Company for the new highway truck, and at 10 o'clock the meeting adjourned. Motion to accept these minutes is read.
Make a motion.
A second on that.
I'll second it.
Favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Do you want to discuss the 105 meeting, Rick?
Sure.
You went to that on Tuesday?
Yep.
Okay.
So, I met with Brendan Woods, sorry, there Tuesday morning. And we were talking about the intersection, obviously, and they started off discussing, maybe we should put some Jersey barriers around, i.e. we meaning the state and or the town, around the parking lot area of the old store that was there, because it'll reduce the possibility of people trying to go through there and cutting off the traffic to get by. They were kind of frowning upon that, the idea, when they talked about it with a group of people that were there, because A, for one, it's an eyesore, and B, it's going to be really costly. So then they talked about putting delineators in, which are nothing more than the little mirrored poles on the side of the highway, with little, not mirrors, but reflectors on them. They put a number of them, both on the 105 section of it, as well as on the Woods Hill section of it, to stop traffic from going in there. I told them that, I would bring this forward. I support that idea because it would be like 6 poles for, if we were to share the cost, if you do Woods Hill, they do all of 105 with those poles. It'd be like 6 poles that we would have to purchase and have the town probably put the road for it. We also talked that really the ultimate would be to get rid of the asphalt pavement that's there for the parking lot. They felt that if we got rid of that, whoever got rid of it, that it would reduce anybody from trying to cut across.
Did they think there's a lot of cars that cut across there?
There's quite a few. There's quite a few in general. That will reduce some of the problem. It's not going to fix the problem.
And I think that would help us if that was going to bring our stop sign closer to 105.
Right.
Right now it's
Further back.
further back.
They are going to move the stop sign. We talked about that.
As the state is going to?
Yes, that's all part of this. They're going to basically move it to just about where it should be, I guess, in my estimation. Probably put some markings on Woods Hill Road there. They want to do all this in tandem. If we agree as a board to buy the 6 stakes that we need to put in on our side, and they'll do their side, and coordinate the sign movement, the marking of the road, and see if that helps. Like I said, ultimately, they think the whole piece of pavement goes away there for the parking lot. That would reduce the need of a lot of these different things. And, I think everybody kind of agreed there. So I went to talk to Ronnie Macy, because he owns all that, and he's 100% in support of it, as long as he gets the asphalt there and whatever he wants it at the farm, I guess. He said he'll sign anything, do anything to take care of that, but he said that's not going to fix the problem. This is why, and I know it's not going to fix the problem. He says he's in 100% support for a roundabout there, and have the state to contact me, because that's what he'd like to see there. But long story short, I guess we're potentially on the hook for at least putting those poles to the asphalt there, right on the side of Woods Hill Road, right away, if the board agrees, with the reflectors. The state may have a way for us to get, I don't know what we have here to stop it, I guess that's 1 6 of them, so. And they would mark where they needed to go, where they thought they should go, as long as, obviously it's not in the right way. And, that was really how that whole meeting went.
Whose right away is that asphalt in? States for 105, or is it in our?
It's Ronnie's,
It's Ronnie's property, but
Right.
it's part of the road anyway, right?
no.
Or it's that far off the road that it's.
Yeah, we wouldn't, we would only touch on the other side, or the field side of those stakes after they put them in. I don't know if,
But the state don't dig up that asphalt.
that was discussed, it's a good possibility. They said that that's a good possibility. I mean, we don't want to just, they didn't want to just dig out the asphalt. They actually wanted to kind of like drop that down to match the field more, like it's probably high right there anyway. That way, so if you have a little lip or a little banking to go down, maybe no one will try to go down right there.
Yeah, that might be it, yeah. Little swale there.
Right, a little swell. So like I said, Ronnie's in support of all that. I'm sure he, you know,
I mean,
he
we
would
can
like
cer-
something out of it, I'm sure, so. long
I'm
story.
sure we can certainly just take our right of way of their asphalt out, you know, to see at least how much is there of our right of way, you know, and then go from there, but, okay, this is how much this is left, to turn it into something different.
Right, the state is gonna mark out where that is, so that we know where to put poles.
Okay.
Did you get anything back on that email from the flashing lights down there, and like that we had talked about doing, or that?
No, he said it was good to know that we were considering that. I didn't know we were considering
Yeah.
that.
And we,
Yeah. Yeah,
before you, we talked about that
yeah.
a few different times.
Did it sound like a roundabout was a possibility in the future, or they didn't really?
They didn't really say, because I guess, obviously, I don't know how many millions that would probably cost them to do, so it's probably kind of down the road if it's gonna happen, but no one would commit to anything saying that, I mean, everybody's been talking about it.
They
but no
acknowledge,
one's-
they acknowledge it's a dangerous intersection,
They
but
acknowledge it.
they can't find a solution.
Right.
Yeah,
So this, at my last PAC meeting, we talked about 105 and how bad it is, and they're doing a traffic study this summer on it. I said, what I would like to see is a traffic study, if possible, cars coming out of the dip and then counted, and then how many go onto Woods Hill and how many continue, to know how many go and how many go that way, and then vice versa at the end of the day, which way has the most traffic. And that's exact, I would like to know how much is dumped right there, because that's gonna tell you a lot of things. And if they can actually record speed on those little flappers too, so it'd be interesting to see what they're entering, depending on where it's placed, what they're on for a speed of, on Woods Hill especially, so.
Yeah, the state did say they're actually gonna be adding some more signage there, like the curve and whatever, because things aren't, they're exactly supposed to be around that intersection area.
so they incorporate all this work with the new pavement, but
They want this like done sooner rather than later. I don't know when the pavement's supposed to start, they never said.
I haven't seen it awarded yet. It's going to happen this year, so whatever the paving contract is. So.
Right, and I think it's right from Gallagher's Corner to the cornfield there.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
High Street.
So, are we, I mean, I don't know if I mean, I can get back to the gentleman that I met with and his crew, are we in agreement that the town of Sheldon will place 6 or 8 poles 10 feet apart after they mark it on that, on the Woods Hill?
I'd like to, before we put those in on our side, at least if we can clean out, talk to Ronnie a little bit more about what needs to be removed out, because I'd hate to try to be removing that with those things in the way, because it'd be easier
Right,
to, yeah, and that, I mean,
Well, I
that's just
don't know
fine.
if we, you know, the removal, we haven't agreed to that.
Yeah.
The poles,
Yeah,
I mean, the poles themselves.
but I'm just saying if we can sequence the work, if
Yeah.
all parties agree, or whatever the terms are, that I'd like to, if we can, try to get those poles afterwards, so we're not working backwards behind them. You know, that's my only
Yeah.
so is anyone on the board object to putting those poles or reflectors in? Coordinating with the city?
Yep.
Okay. So, all in
Is-
favor of that, then we can.
Do you have more questions?
No, I was just gonna ask it, is the state gonna actually put them in for us, or they want them?
They're gonna mark where they want it. They asked if we could do that. 6 poles.
On our side.
On our side.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll do their side.
But they'll help us get the right ones to match theirs and mark them where they need.
Right, they're looking at that piece.
Okay.
it would almost be nice if they
I think-
could purchase them,
I think-
and we should purchase them from them.
I suggested that.
Yeah.
They don't want to do
You
it.
know, if that's a possibility, they were gonna look into that.
Okay, yeah, but, to me, that makes.
Well, I think as far as the board's concerned, we can give them the green light on proceeding with that. And then, you know, maybe ask them about cleaning out that, you know, if the possibility, just putting a dip trigger in that corner in there. Ronnie must have an access on Woods Hill to get into that field over there.
I would assume so, or just further down, well, further down on 105 past the
If he
asphalt.
accesses that field right there where that pull off is, I don't know if it doesn't either. Or does it? He
I think
might.
there's one on the hill.
But I think if we speak with him and say, hey, you know, access it from here, it'd be nice if you had one on Woods Hill, probably be less traffic. And give him the fill out of there or whatever, and
I guess they,
see if he's in agreement with that.
right, the state even talked about moving how Woods Hill, how Mason Road enters into 105. They talked about that, but I guess that's even, yeah, a lot more money. They were talking about moving that closer towards the condos. So it entered onto Woods Hill Road there, or something like that. Yeah, it's kind of weird to me.
That'd be too close to those houses.
Yeah, I
I
think
would
so.
think it would go the other way, get it before the corner. But I guess, yeah, they entered on Woods Hill would be probably ideal. Because a lot of that traffic coming off, make sure it goes that way anyway.
Yeah.
That's what's
I've never sat down here and studied it too much, but,
Hmm.
yeah. Anything else we need to discuss? What's this, Dan McDonald, he wants an update on, did he send an email? Jim?
Yeah, it's right here.
This is enough.
We'll still be signing this.
Do you know if there's any, if we can find any grants or anything for flashing lights down, or how do we pay for? I know that solar one was paid for by the person that took out the sign. And I know we got a number before. Is there grant money, do you know, available?
Yeah.
They have the signage grant, but those signs are not included in that grant. And they know, the state knows there's a need for those, because I asked, because there's a $15,000 or $30,000 grant out for signage, for road sign.
Mhm.
And I asked if the reduce your speed, you know, to monitor your speed as you're coming in, and those stop signs, they are not included. They will not be included in that grant. So no, I don't know of any other grants.
Alright, so this email says, to the board members, I'd like to again reiterate about police coverage and enforcement in that capacity is desperately needed and would of course be welcomed on a more frequent basis. I've spoken directly with the Vermont State Police and the Franklin County Sheriff's Office on different occasions, and they are unable to provide the coverage they'd like to due to limited staffing. It's just an unfortunate circumstance. They're tasked with a huge coverage area, and it's my understanding must prioritize their officers to more serious crime areas and situations. Says, however, when the VSP and FCS have patrolled the area, they've made numerous stops. Compared to the research I have completed online, the cost for signage you received quotes from was outrageously high. A few months ago, I provided the board other signage resources at a much lower cost. Did you view those that I forwarded? Are there requirements the town must purchase from a specific source, or can they go outside of that source? I'm asking if the board members would please consider another perspective. The style of signs I suggested for speed limit and stop would be a huge improvement visually for drivers and effect when one sees that they are going much higher over the speed limit, and the sign displays such is hard to ignore. The lighted stop signs would prove to do the same and would be an obvious positive addition. Safety for all tax-paying citizens, children, elderly who live on Main and Bridge Street could be a higher priority. I can understand if you don't live here and don't see these things, it may be difficult to feel as we do. Furthermore, I imagine there are other safety areas to consider as well. I'm not blind to that possibility. I can also understand how funds are limited to perhaps purchasable styles of signage. Therefore, I ask, would the board please consider purchasing one set this fiscal year and then following fiscal year and purchase another? Alright. Any thoughts on this?
So we're talking about one stop sign or three for that intersection?
Yeah, so,
Was it one like coming by here was the problem?
There's 3 stop signs, I
Right.
don't know which, I think they're all an issue, but which one is worse?
it's a three-way intersection, it would be kind of foolish to put one.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, is there one way they blow through it more than others, or? I mean, I guess coming down Main Street, you can see if anybody's coming up this way to blow through Fairfield, but that's, they're enough to see. I mean, I've seen cars blow through it, but I see cars blow through 120 out on 105, so.
If I'm gonna,
What's your thoughts?
if I'm gonna spend money on the flashing lights, I'm not gonna put it here in the village.
Okay.
That's just my take, and I'm gonna send it over on Woods Hill, Mason Road. More, higher rate of speed and more traffic. I'm not saying I don't discredit that there is people speeding, and I don't think that's going to deter people from stopping at that stop sign or slowing them down. Police coverage will stop that, and that's something we're working on, but
Yeah.
I don't think a sign is going to deter them. The reason I feel the need for more Mason Road, Woods Hill, is people don't know that it's actually a road that stops and you're entering a new road. So
I would agree that people that are going through stop signs know that those stop signs are there because they live around here. And it's not a tourist, you know.
well, some are tourists, some are not. So
Not the majority. The majority of people know that they're there. And, yeah, law enforcement is the,
And I guess we're getting some leads on maybe getting some patrol and stuff, and
We could check to see too if they're retro reflective signs, change them out, make them the brighter signs.
yeah, we could do that maybe.
how much was our quote?
I don't remember.
For that aspect of it, is there,
I was like 10 grand.
was there more than
It's
one?
10 grand.
Per sign?
Yeah, no, all 3 signs.
To do that intersection.
10
No,
grand.
because they were solar powered, right?
Yes.
Well, I guess the board kind of agrees for now, we're gonna try to get police coverage, and we'll check on maybe a different.
So I don't know if those other signs that he suggested are legal either.
And I think that's it for business. Anything else?
Fire department business, just to bring up quickly, that we're fortunate enough to receive a $200,000 grant from FEMA for air packs and an air compressor to fill the bottles. So we just were notified last Friday.
Congratulations.
How old's that air compressor you have, Bert?
What's that?
How old's that air compressor you have?
54 years old.
Just thinking that was something you moved into that fire station.
Oh my gosh, that was with a forklift.
Yeah.
Yep, no, it actually, failed this year. And we found one out in New Hampshire, one that has a lot of hours on it just to get us by. Because we already applied because we knew it was going to fail somewhere. We're lucky enough, so.
Nice.
And I did want to bring up that Jim was there with the backhoe today, and I had a couple pictures of that culvert that I said it was still buried. There may be a reason for it, I didn't ask, but barely did any real fixes to the situation there with the backhoe. And I did make a contact with the St. Albans City, who said that one of their guys that work for the city, who's on our fire department, could take their vacuum truck if we wanted it to suck out those manholes if needed, without a charge. This is only a couple of manholes there.
Yeah. Okay.
Kim, have you heard anything from the people in Crow Hill or Reed Road?
Also, that permit was amended. Did you guys sign that, or are we gonna continue with it? For the state permit for the water line? It was in the box.
Oh, for Hill?
Yes.
I need to know if they want to do it or not. She hasn't called you. You want to have Kim follow up with her tomorrow, just to see whether, because I don't want to sign anything if they're not gonna move forward, you know, or you want to follow up with her tomorrow, Kim, for us, please?
All right.